All right, I thought this would be a pretty interesting video. I'm going to explain the training split that I use in the gym. Obviously, this is something that you probably shouldn't copy. I'm not a beginner, I'm an intermediate weightlifter. But I thought this would be a really interesting video so you as the viewer could get an idea of what I do, maybe learn something, maybe take some inspiration. Uh, this is not just a generic split. I kind of invented it. I took ideas from multiple different well-known programs. So I'm just going to be explaining the training split I use and maybe something will click in your brain and maybe you can think more similarly to me. So yeah, first thing, I work out 6 days a week and my one rest day is on Thursday. So it's essentially every day and I take one rest day just for my health, recovery. So my training split, it's a repeated cycle of 4 days. It starts with a volume push day, then we go volume pull day, and then the third day is an intensity push, and the last day is an intensity pull, and then you go right back to the beginning volume push. So it's 4 days, volume push, volume pull, intensity push, intensity pull. Now I'm going to be talking about the exercises I do on the push day and the pull day, and then I'll be talking about the variation between intensity and volume. On push day, I do an overhead press. Well, no, let's yeah, I do overhead press. This is for volume push. Let's start with volume push. I do an overhead press, a bench press, and a deadlift. I consider the deadlift a push. And my accessories on the volume push are the overhead tricep extension, the banded rear delt face pulls, and the lateral raises. So that's my volume push. And the difference with intensity push is that instead of the deadlift, I do a squat. So that's why I was kind of slow there for a second. I was like, didn't really plan this video too well. And then in regards to the volume versus intensity pull, it's all the same. I do the weighted pull-ups, then I do a pendlay row, and then I do the bicep curls, and then I train my neck. So now I'm going to go into each day specifically. Starting with volume push, the first thing I do in volume push is a 5x5 standing overhead press with the barbell. And for this, the 5x5, I rest 3 minutes between each set. Simple. And it's just a progressive overload. It's I'm still moving through it. Right now, I'm at a 170 for 5x5. I just keep doing it over and over until I hit 5x5 and I add 2.5 pounds to each side, 5 pounds total. What I do next on my volume push is on the bench press, 5x5. Same concept. I do it 5x5. Once I get it, I add 5 pounds, 2.5 to each side. But for the volume bench press, I make sure to go quite slow on the way down, and I make sure to train it like a bodybuilder instead of just going for powerful speed reps like I do on the intensity day. And then after that, on the volume push day, we go into the overhead tricep extension, 3 sets of 8, progressive overload, simple. And then there's the face pulls with the bands, 4 sets of 25. There's not really progressive overload. I just try and make my form a little bit better each time. 4 sets of 25 gets a great pump in. And then I hit the lateral raises. I hit 4 sets of 15, and my rest time is quite short in between, about 30 to 45 seconds, and I get a great pump. And then I finish off my volume push day with the deadlifts. My most standard sets and reps for deadlifts is a 3x3, and I feel like this is what you should do to optimize your progression as a beginner. And yeah, 3x3, add 2.5 pounds to each side each time. So that's a volume push. Next day, volume pull. Starts out with 5x5 weighted pull-ups. I usually do the regular grip for about 45 degrees, not too wide and not too narrow. And simple, I rest 3 minutes in between each set. And then I go to, I do, 3 sets of 5 on pendlay rows. And I, also rest 3 minutes in between, progressive overload, real simple. And I do bicep curls. I do 3 sets of 15. And on the volume day, I'm standing and I rest 2 minutes between each set. And then I do neck training, 4 sets of 25, progressive overload, and I rest 2 minutes between each set. But sometimes I do 1 minute, 30 seconds when it's feeling really easy. Because, it's really hard to progress with the neck training because it's hard to hold more than 70 pounds because it's too big for your hands to hold. so you don't really overload too much with the neck. Now I'm going to talk about intensity push. It starts off with a intensity overhead press. This is a 3x3. The rest time is still 3 to 4 minutes, and it's just progressive overload. Right now I'm at 195. After that, we go into squats, and my regular, right now what I do is I do a more advanced form of progressive overload. The first day I do 2 sets of 3, then I do 3 sets of 3, then I do 4 sets of 3, all the same weight. And once I hit 4 sets of 3, I go back to 2 sets of 3, additional 5 pounds. And this is working great right now. I'm just past 3 plates, so I'm progressing very well compared to where I was recently. And then I go into intensity bench press, 3x3, rest about 4 minutes. This is very well. And moving on from there, after this, we go into what do you call it? Still overhead tricep extension, 3 sets of 8. And this one, the tempo is more important. We like to go really fast on this one. And then just round it off with the face pulls and the lateral raises again. And finally, an intensity pull. It's going to be 3x3 heavy weighted pull-ups. I go neutral, wide grip, shoulder width. Rest 5 minutes in between each set. These are pretty hard. I'm at 80 pounds right now. And then you go Pendlay rows, but I make sure to do 5 sets of 3. I go really heavy on these. And I rest 4 minutes. And then I do the same curls and neck for this day. So that's the training split I use. It's a repeated cycle of 4 days, and it's what I use right now. Maybe you can get some inspiration from that video.